So April is a really big month astrologically. I'm sure you have heard about the eclipse and Mercury retrograde, and there's a lot of intensity that this month is going to bring, but there's also this really beautiful invitation to grow immensely. A lot of healing can be done this month. There's a huge invitation for us to clear away old patterns and to start new again. And I know that there is a lot of eclipse scare. There's a lot of fear mongering happening. I've read a lot of posts about the eclipse, doing a lot of random things. And I wanted to just come on here and speak about what I know of the eclipse and what we are being invited into and initiated into. And I want to just remind all of us, I've had to remind myself of this over the last couple of weeks, that we are the creators of our realities and that what we give energy to will manifest. And so if we're constantly thinking that the apocalypse is here or that there's doom and gloom or really negative thoughts, that's what we manifest in our reality. Like, we are very, very powerful human beings, powerful creators, and it's important for us to remember that where we put our energy, that is where our reality forms. So the eclipse on April 8th is a total solar eclipse, and this means that the sun and moon are meeting up in Aries. This eclipse is special because it's also conjuncting Chiron, and this is a really powerful portal. Anytime you get an eclipse in the sign of Aries, you have an initiation into a new beginning, and the sign of Aries is a very powerful cardinal sign. Aries is the pioneer and the leader. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It's the new beginnings that form. Aries is very, very brave and not afraid to be courageous to do something new. And so we're all really, really being initiated into almost like a rebirth of the self. And it's really quite beautiful. This invitation has us with more courage and more bravery to do what is most authentic for ourselves here. And that's exciting. Also, it can bring up a lot of anger, a lot of frustration. Make sure to move your body throughout the rest of this month, to burn off some of this excess energy that we're all feeling. So with Aries, when you have let me back up a little bit. When you have a solar eclipse, basically what's happening is the moon is eclipsing the sun, and you get this ring of fire. And really what it symbolizes is power to the people. So this is usually where rulers in ancient times fell. And honestly, in ancient times too, the rulers used to go into hiding during total solar eclipses, eclipse season in general, as they realized that the people started to kind of get their power back and gain sovereignty. And so something that's really interesting about this is that there's a shadow part of the eclipse, right? There's something going into hiding into the shadow, and then the light is coming back. And usually this signifies a bit of where people have lost their power and where we need to unite together to create our new reality and to create this new earth, which is really interesting. It's signifying that the structures need to fall. However that plays out, I'm not sure how much doom and gloom that will be. But what I do know is that I have a huge faith in the energy of not only that this eclipse is initiating us into something new, but we're heading into a new time, into a new era, into a new age. And that's really exciting. And it's also terrifying because it's really an unknown space. And also it means that the structures and systems have to crumble and fall. And if you've been following me over the last 4 or 5 years, I talk about this all the time, literally all the time. Probably sick of me saying these things. But the interesting part about this eclipse too is that the ruler is Mars. Mars is in Pisces conjunct Saturn, and really what that signifies is that the old outdated structures must fall. Mars tends to be a trigger planet. He's also going to show us where we've been delusional or escapist in our reality, and where we need to take action for ourselves, take responsibility. It feels a little bit like maybe you're feeling the call to take action in the physical realm, right? Maybe with yourself or your patterns or behaviors or habits or something. That could definitely be, because it's different for everybody. But to me, it feels a little bit like the invitation is to take action for our subconscious thoughts and our outdated beliefs. So like that part of you that like runs the circus and we sometimes don't even realize that we have such an old outdated belief, and it's manifesting in the background because we believe it so much, so deeply. So often our subconscious or unconscious mind will essentially create our reality for us because we have these really deep-seated beliefs. The cool part about this eclipse is that it's a new invitation. There is a new cycle, right? It's not only just a new moon, which is a new lunar cycle for the next 28 days, but it's also this new cycle. A north node eclipse is like step into your destiny, step into your purpose. It's time. It's time. It's time to take a right or a left. It's time to really stand in why the hell you came to Earth in the first place, and be brave enough and bold enough to really honor that and stand for it, you know, and claim it. That's the word I'm looking for. So also with this eclipse, it's certainly a time where our past lifetimes are really activated because Chiron is incredibly close to this eclipse to the minute. It means that what's happening is our old fears are being dredged up. It means that our past lifetimes fears are being dredged up. It means our old wounds from this lifetime, past lifetimes, are all coming to the surface. So if you're feeling extra triggered, you know, the past few weeks and then the next few weeks, this is why it's a really good invitation to say, hang on a minute, what's going on here? What am I feeling? And not only allow yourself to feel it, right, but also like question it. Where does this come from? Why do I feel so triggered? Is this an old wound from childhood? Is this an old wound? I have no idea where it comes from. Like really, really, I want to make it very clear that during eclipse season, especially with Chiron involved, our past life selves are so in the forefront. And it's not always conscious. We don't always know what or why or how. So I just want to, you know, offer that invitation to really like question when you're wounded. This eclipse is also going to initiate a lot of people into becoming the healer and helping other people level up and heal the wounds that they've brought in from many, many lifetimes, including this one. So it's a real initiation into stepping into the healer role, and also to look back on how far you've come and what is this new initiation that you're being invited into around your healing. So if you are triggered, I'm not surprised. And also there is an invitation here to go to a deeper level of healing. And if you're being called to really step into this like more of a healer's role or to help others role, that is also something that's really quite loud right now. So, you know, this eclipse is definitely a huge portal that we're walking through, and it's really where we have this initiation into our own sovereignty and our own internal truth, our own individual spark of God truth. And it might be a fiery road the next few weeks because of all the astrology happening. But I also just want you to know that like practice holding the belief that everything is happening for you, not to you, right? Like we came here as creators, we came here with a contract. And if you're intrigued as to where these eclipses are happening for you and where Mercury retrograde is happening to you, I have an eclipse report. And it's basically a PDF that I write out and I tell you where the lunar eclipse happened for you. We're very much still in the energy of the lunar eclipse, by the way, which happened at the end of March, where the solar eclipse is happening for you and where Mercury is retrograding in your chart. So this report includes lots of practical tools. I try to keep it as down to earth as possible and really translate like where the invitations are for you personally, because again, like I said earlier, for everyone it's happening in a different place in our lives. So it's going to be different for me than it is for you. Similar themes, but where this shows up is very, very different. So that's all I got. Happy eclipse season. May you lean into grace, may you lean into growth, and may you lean into healing. Sending love.